Welcome to the coming apocalypse. Evangelist and pastor Paul Begley will take you on a journey into the end times prophecy. He'll examine current world events and explain how they relate to the end times. For decades, Pastor Begley has provided people all over the world with an understanding of today's world events from a biblical perspective. Now here's your host, Pastor Paul Begley.
Are you serious? Are you serious? The love of my life is here today. Welcome to the coming apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley and
Heidi Begley.
And today's a special report, Heidi, on the coronavirus rumors and realities.
Rumors and realities, yes.
So we got it in this first whole hour. We're gonna focus on the coronavirus. We got information from all over the world. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of disinformation that's floating around out there, and we need help. Yes. Some of it's just stuff because people just don't know medical terms or understand medical terms. Fair Use Act today, in good faith, the work contains fair use of copyrighted, non-copyrighted images from the public domain and the web for the non-commercial, non-profit educational purposes only. This broadcast is free of charge. What? Free of charge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so indeed.
We take the current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecies, and that's why I titled this program, Breaking the Virus, Rumors or Realities. Biblical Plague Continues. Okay, and I mean, it's tough, Heidi. Let's put a shout out real fast, though, to one of our wonderful sponsors, RateFamilyInsurance.com. That's RateFamily.com. Death is in the family, okay? Can be hard. But unfortunately, we all have to deal with it sooner or later. All of us leave behind final expenses such as funeral costs, medical bills, and other debts. In fact, the average funeral alone is between $8,000 and $9,000 a piece. Having no insurance when you die can leave your loved ones with a huge bill to deal with, and no one wants that. Take control of your family's destiny today and have the satisfaction that they will be financially taken care of. Visit www.ratefamily.com and get a free quote. No waiting periods, 100% benefits. Even if you've been turned down before, they guarantee coverage for everybody, no matter the situation. Yes, that's true, folks. Guaranteed coverage for everybody, no matter the situation. Some members pay as low as $36 a month due to their income level. So visit www.ratefamily.com or pick up the phone and call them at 855-919-RATE. That's 855-919-RATE. You'll be glad you did. And tell them that Pastor Paul Begley sent you there, okay? Heidi, it's getting serious.
It is. It's a new reality that we're in.
It is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean...
We didn't ask for this reality either.
No. Mm-hmm. And what is let's read this statistic. And we're going to have a guest on for a few minutes. His name is Caesar. We're not going to give him his full name. He wants to protect his identity. Mm-hmm. But there's reports of down in Ecuador, isn't it?
Yes, Ecuador.
What is it they're saying down there that they're telling us?
Well, Caesar is going to help us out here, but there's a journalist out of Peru that did an expose in Ecuador that there are just bodies everywhere and they're not able to get help from the emergency services or from the police. And Caesar is going to help interpret a video about what's going on in Ecuador. And unfortunately, probably other countries in South America as well.
We saw the video, you and I, this morning. Their bodies are laying in the streets. Mm-hmm. People were on the phone calling ambulances. The ambulances pulled up. They see a dead body laying there, and they say, no, and they drive away because they're afraid they're going to get the virus. I mean, this is Ecuador.
Well, I think it's overwhelmed with the need.
Yes. Matter of fact, folks, just so you know some statistics, this morning, right now, There's been 965,246 confirmed cases of the virus. And you know those numbers are wrong pretty well, but this is Johns Hopkins University global map. And that's the confirmed number, 965,246. The number of people dead, 49,236 cases that have died. So this is a very serious situation we're in now. And when we start talking about the United States, Heidi, we now have confirmed cases, 217,263. We've got over 4,000 people dead. And it is exploding now across our country, where the president says these next 2 weeks are the worst and for America, but not the worst globally. Look at Italy, 110,000 cases with well over 13,000 dead. Spain, 110,000 cases, over 10,000 dead. And then we don't even know what China is. 21 million cell phones went off. And China admits that now. That 21 million cell phones just no longer work. And you're required to have a phone in China for social credit score, so they can monitor where you're at. They're a communist nation.
Whatever that is.
We're monitoring where we're at now, even though we're not a communist nation. We're doing it because of Patriot Act gave the right to do it, I guess, during a pandemic. I didn't know anything about that. So that's another reality. Germany, 81,000 cases. France, 57,000. Iran, 50,000. United Kingdom has jumped to 34,000. Switzerland's at 18,000. Turkey's at 15,000. Belgium is to 15,000. And the Netherlands at almost 15,000. And the list goes on. And now Central America is exploding, Heidi. And it's hot down there. So does that mean... The rumor was that when it got hot, the virus dies.
That's one of the rumors that have been dispelled.
But what is the reality?
The reality is it does not matter. The temperature does not matter, hot or cold. Some people also said cold environments would hold the virus back. The reality is it does not matter. Hot weather nor cold weather is going to hold the virus back.
So is that typically how viruses work?
It doesn't matter with this virus. It's not going to matter.
But my point is, that isn't how a virus normally works, but this virus don't work like a normal, or like some viruses we've seen in the past.
Well, you're getting into a whole another can of worms. Like Mike said, it's not necessarily the virus, it's people's behavior changes as well in cold environments and hot environments. You're just, we stay in the house when it's cold, we get outside when it's warm, we act totally different. So there's a lot of variables in that.
A lot of moving parts. And so down in Central America, if you haven't had any virus problems, you're hearing about it on the rest of the world, but you don't care, it's hot, it's 90 degrees, you do what you normally do, and all of a sudden, boom, there's an outbreak.
Right.
And now you don't know what to do. And this kills the theory that
kills the theory.
The rumor is heat would kill this virus. The reality is it don't.
Right.
And we're going to ask you more rumors and get more realities from you when we come back. Let's get a song. We come back, we're going to bring Caesar on. He's going to interpret what's going on down in Central America for about 5 minutes. And then Heidi and I are going to go on with more rumors versus realities. And we got a ton of stuff. Wait till you see what they're doing in Sweden. You're not going to believe it. No grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna get up out of the ground. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Look way down the river, what do you think you see? I see a band of angels, and they're coming after me. Well, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body thunder, Gabriel. Put your feet on the land and sea. Gabriel, don't blow that trumpet until you hear from me. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Well, meet me, Jesus, meet me. Meet me in the middle of the air. And if these wings don't fail me, I'll meet you anywhere. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Well, meet me, mother and father, down by the river road. Mama, you know I'll be there. I'm a checking in my load. Well, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Oh, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Welcome back. Are you serious? Welcome back. Hour number 2. No, I'm still in the first hour. Okay. We understand we got to call it. It took 7 minutes for some of you to even know that we were on. There was for whatever reason, I don't know why. But let me just say this. Again, 965,246 cases globally confirmed of the coronavirus. 49,236 people confirmed dead from the coronavirus, and 217,263 cases are Americans, with over 4,000 people dead in the United States. And the number is exponentially growing. It's not just there. I'm not going to go through the whole list of countries again, but it's growing all across the globe, Heidi. But there's a lot of rumors, and there's then reality. And one of the rumors was that when the weather got warm, this virus would die.
And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be holding out.
Because in Central America right now, there's a mass epidemic spreading, and it's been 90 degrees down there every day, 85, 90, and that's not working, is it?
Nope.
Matter of fact, let's get on the phone right now and bring up our good friend from Florida. His name is Caesar. Now, we're not going to give you his last name. He does not want to reveal his identity. And so, so we're going to give you Caesar from Florida is going to join us and help us understand, interpret some of these news articles we saw and a video we saw. And let's see if we've got him here.
Hello?
Yes, Caesar, are you there?
Hey, hi, Pastor. Yes, I am here. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. I want to thank you for coming on and being with us. I met you in Florida, about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. And thank you for interpreting this news articles coming out of Peru of what's going on in Ecuador, right?
Yes, Guayaquil, the capital of Ecuador.
Now, we watched the video, and there was bodies laying in the streets, and I saw an ambulance driver pull up, and they would not take the body. So what's going on down there? What is the interpretation?
Apparently, the health system is overwhelmed, totally overwhelmed. they have no ambulances just to pick up the bodies. In the video, they said that they have more than 100 bodies still to be picked up from different houses because they lay the bodies in the sidewalks, on the streets, just for them to be picked up. But they have no ambulances or no health system to pick up the bodies. It's unbelievable. Also, they are burning bodies on the street. It's crazy. They put the bodies inside the boxes. You can watch the images. They put the bodies inside the single good boxes and they burn it in the middle of the street. At the end, the video says that there is like 100 bodies still waiting for ambulances or health system to be picked up. But the situation looks like chaotic. There was one woman over there that said that she is sick, she is feeling bad. Their parents died like 2 days ago, and they are waiting for somebody to pick up the bodies, and the images saw the 2 bodies over there inside the houses. Other house has the parents or people, some people inside the house died like 1 or 2 days ago, and they cannot support the smell of the body. So they put the body inside a box and in the sidewalk. It's unbelievable. Really, it's unbelievable.
Now,
and this is happening in Guayaquil. Could you imagine what could happen in India or any other places? Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, because you're talking Ecuador, and Ecuador, although in Central America, maybe not obviously not as good a healthcare system as America or maybe some of the European nations, but certainly, as you just said, imagine what it'd be like in India, where I've been, and I can tell you, when this thing, and unfortunately, it hasn't hit India with full impact yet. It will. I can't stop it. Neither can anyone else. And then Africa, we're gonna see the same kind of thing. But already, you're saying in Ecuador, they call and say, please come get the bodies. And there's not enough ambulances to go around and get the bodies, so they have to get the body out of the house, or the whole house is going to be contaminated, and other people are going to get sick and die. And so they put the body out in the street, and still nobody comes to pick them up. So you're saying now they're burning, they're cremating the bodies in the middle of the street, trying to get rid of the disease.
Exactly.
What is the hope? What's the hope?
Even though they have a man that is also recording the death of his own brother. His own brother is in the sidewalk. He called the police. The police is there, and they said, no, you need to wait 1 day more because we don't have nobody that can come to pick up the body. Sorry. So it's unbelievable. And Guayaquil is not a city as poor as many other cities that you can imagine. Guayaquil is the capital of Ecuador. Ecuador is like Peru, is like Uruguay or Paraguay. It's not a bad place. It's not a bad place. It's not as poor as other places. Honduras is worse. Different places in Central America, or as you said in Africa. Africa is terrible. So the situation is people dying, walking in the sidewalk, and fell down in the sidewalk, dying on the street directly, as in showing the images. And the other says, pick it up, the mask, take the mask. Unbelievable.
You mean when the person falls over dead, and we heard these same reports, Heidi, in China. Mm-hmm. What would cause you to fall over dead and die, Heidi, in your opinion? Well,
if you're in respiratory distress, your body can only take so much, and then you just die. Your body can only take so much.
Does your heart just stop? Is that what it basically is?
You can only take so much.
And so people are wearing a mask, and they're so sick, and they fall over and die. And then you're saying, did I hear you right, Caesar? You're saying other people are saying, get his mask, and start wearing it?
Yes. When the person fell in the ground, they say, pick up the mask. So take the mask from that person. I cannot believe that. It's ridiculous.
So they don't understand how germs work. They don't understand. There's a lack of education, health education there. And this is Ecuador. And this isn't as bad as, like you said, let's say some other countries that may be even a little more impoverished, a little less infrastructure. So there's confusion down there, isn't it?
Yes, totally. There's information. the people don't know about this virus. This virus is something very special because they are talking about three different kind of viruses inside the same virus. HIV, coronavirus, different mixing that they have. So it attacks different parts of the body. I was reading an article the other day that also in men that has the coronavirus affect the testicles. It affects your reproductive system, and it's already it's a serious study. So it's not only affect your lungs, it also affects your other part of your body. So it's very complicated, and they cannot assure that it's not airborne. That's why the CDC is asking us, no, now when you are out of your home, you need to use the mask. Why? Why the CDC is telling everybody, because this is public, use your mask every time you are outside your house. So the virus is mutating. Are there many different strands in the virus? So I believe that this is a biological weapon. It's not a common virus. For me, it's not a common virus. So the information that is released is not useful at all, because you can inform about one kind of virus, but then you have a different mutation or a different result, and the people cannot be protected. This could be a very disaster through all the planet.
Caesar, we want to thank you for coming on, being with us today, and interpreting this video. We watched the video. We know there's others in there, Heidi. Mm-hmm. Any more questions you think for Caesar on this?
No, thank you so much, Caesar. And Caesar interprets for us a lot of times. We have a large Spanish-speaking population, and Caesar interprets for us a lot of times. And thank you very much.
Caesar, if you want to speak in Spanish, if you want to tell the Spanish listeners out there what you saw in Spanish, go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, en el video que se muestra de Ecuador, de la ciudad de Guayaquil, es terrible porque la gente muerta en la calle, una persona que filmó a su propio hermano muerto en la propia vereda, y con la policía ahí mismo diciéndoles para que recojan el cuerpo, y les dice, no, tiene que estar un día más porque no tenemos ambulancia para recogerlo, no tenemos sistema de salud. Otra persona que está mostrando a sus propios padres adentro de la casa pidiendo ayuda porque ella está enferma, ella se siente enferma, ella tiene fiebre, y sus padres muertos, envueltos en unas sábanas adentro de la casa, para que por favor alguien los ayude y saquen el cuerpo. Imagínense la situación de contagio. Otros quemando los cuerpos en la calle, los ponen adentro de unas cajas simples de madera y quemándolos en el medio de la calle porque no saben cómo hacer con los cuerpos. Otro reporte dice que la policía tiene como 100 casas por pasar a recoger cuerpos muertos, que no dan abasto a los sistemas de salud y que no tienen cómo recoger esos cadáveres. Esto aparentemente se ve en barrios, en las periferias de lo que es Guayaquil, no será propiamente en el propio centro de la capital, acorde a las imágenes, serán en barrios, en periferias. Se ven personas cayendo, caminando y cayendo muertas, y otras diciendo, recoge la máscara, sácale la máscara. El video muestra una situación bien fuerte, está hecho creo que por RT, y dice al principio que hay que tener cuidado porque las imágenes son fuertes, y sí son fuertes porque hay cuerpos quemándose en la calle, hay cuerpos envueltos en sábanas dentro de las casas, otra gente mostrando una casa como una persona murió hacía 2 días y ya no soportan el olor del cuerpo adentro de la casa, y también lo ponen en una caja de madera y sacándolo afuera en la caja de madera y dejándolo afuera en la calle. La situación es bien complicada, dicen que no hay ambulancias en todo Guayaquil para dar abasto a buscar los cadáveres que van en distintos lugares. Eso es lo que aparentemente está mostrado en el video de RT. So that's the Spanish version for the video, Pastor.
Thank you so much, Caesar. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much.
10 years, Pastor, from now. I'm watching you from 2010. God bless you, Pastor.
You've been watching me since I started in 2010. Yes. 10 years. Thank you, brother.
God bless you.
All right. Gracias, my brother. Amen. That is Caesar. He's a great guy, and he's a wonderful member of this online church, and for over 10 years. And we met him when one of our conferences we did in Florida. So Put that back on, darling.
Oh, sure.
And I want to welcome all 1,600 of you that are with us live on our YouTube channel. Plus, we got a lot of people at the backup channel and everywhere else. Now, we are going to have Periscope on tonight for Mike Around the World, and we should have the phone line back on tonight for Mike Around the World. Heidi's going to be working on that. So Mike Children's not able to get here due to shelter in place and all these things that we're going through. So we're just going to work it through. We're going to work through it now.
Yes, we have a new reality.
Heidi, he said, you heard him, in his opinion, this doesn't feel like a real virus. This feels more like something else, almost weaponized. And Brock kind of uses that term. What, is that a rumor, or is that what's the reality?
Well, what they are saying is that this escaped from a lab. Now, was it purposefully escape from a lab, or did it accidentally escape from a lab? The professionals are not. They're not agreeing.
Are they agreeing
haven't
it
decided.
came from a lab?
They are agreeing it came from a lab.
So that means it's some kind of man-made engineered virus.
Yeah, when the labs are full of viruses, and that they're always working on viruses and trying to come up with, studying them, or trying to come up with cures, and trying to come up with vaccines and all of these things. So it's not, you have labs full of viruses, full of all kinds of bacterias, and they're always being studied. That's how we come up with cures.
So it wasn't nice that China accused the United States military of launching this virus on them. I mean, that's stupidity, isn't it?
We really don't want to.
Well, would we do something
China
like that and that infects the whole world?
Absolutely
not. So that's a rumor. Reality is no. Okay,
No.
But rumor, it came out of a lab. Well, the scientists say this thing came out of a lab. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, we don't know that.
Right.
But you're confirming reality is this is a engineered virus that somehow got out of a lab.
That's what the scientists are
in
saying.
Wuhan, China, which is the epicenter of this thing. It's obviously where it got leaked out, okay?
Right.
All right.
And who knows what all they were working on. So yes, it could have all kinds of things that in it, because they were working on viruses in a lab. So God only knows what all.
Anytime I see 1,717 people, and I think about my dream about the 717 thing, I just have to stop and make notice. Let me say something real quick. Heidi, in Sweden, they started out, the rest of Europe was locking down the mask, shelter in place, shutting down the nations.
Now you know that they don't like that word, locking down.
I didn't say it. I meant shelter in place. Okay. Sorry, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. I apologize. It was an accident.
Doesn't like the word. And why doesn't he like that word? There is a difference. So why doesn't he like the word?
Well, that sounds like you're physically being locked down. Where
right. There is a difference.
Where shelter in place means he's asking you to shelter in place.
Well, yeah, and there is a difference. We still have a lot of, personal freedom. We can go outside, do things,
But if you own a restaurant, you have to lock the door. You're out of business.
But still, that's still a difference from being locked down.
I got it.
Yeah. So there is a difference in the semantics, so.
I agree with you. Okay, well, Sweden decided not to go with the shelter-in-place mentality, but they said, forget about it, guys. Let nature, it's no different than the flu. Let nature run its course. We're just going to have a wide open, look at it. That was Sweden last week. No mask, everybody socializing, drinking, partying, restaurants open, casinos open, churches open, everything's open. Having been the last European nation to do this, it didn't work. The coronavirus has exploded in Sweden in the last week, having been one of the few European countries in the world not to impose the coronavirus shelter in place. Sweden's now starting to abandon that liberal approach after a surge of deaths and contaminations. People are being encouraged now to observe social distancing measures. Now, there's been no quarantine protocols yet, but as the virus takes off, that is no doubt going to be done. Also, schools are closed, bars are closed, cinemas are closed, but people can gather as long as it's less than 50. Now, we did the same thing, and then the president moved it to 10. Now, we've had 2 pastors arrested. Pastor Rodney Howard Brown, a very well-known pastor down in Florida, and then Pastor Tony Spell over in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because they both defied this request by the president, and the governors then took measures to have them arrested for not following the rules. So Heidi, help me out. Rumor is it don't really matter. People get together. Reality is...
Okay, so let's talk about social distancing, and let's talk about gathering together, especially when it comes to church.
Okay.
All right, so obviously we have what's called droplet precautions, and Caesar brought up the fact that we're not so sure that it's not airborne. So let's talk about the difference between droplet versus airborne, okay?
Okay.
So droplet precautions are, coughing, sneezing on people, right? Airborne is when it goes what's called aerosol. So they're still, yes.
Like a mist, okay.
And that it stays in the air and for so many feet, right?
Like Michael Jordan used to do when he...
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Not just Michael Jordan.
Magic Johnson.
Don't forget Magic.
Okay, sorry. So in other words, it hang time.
Hang time, yes. There you go, hang time. So, and that it stays in the air for a certain amount of time, right? Versus droplet, there you go. And it's a big drop, right? Versus very small, fine in the air for a while. So that's the difference between airborne.
Okay.
So a droplet means I just sneezed, it's here, it's gone, okay? It's not gone, but it might have fell on the desk.
Right, but airborne is it portrays out and just hangs.
And it still hangs, and it's still out there.
For maybe 3-4 hours.
Right, could be, or even 3 minutes.
Still hangs out there a while.
Okay, so there's your difference between airborne versus droplet.
Okay, I got it. Droplets. I got
Droplet
it.
versus airborne.
I got
Okay,
it, I got it.
so there's your difference, and so that's still what they're studying.
So which is it?
They're actually still studying.
So what do we have?
And so they're saying, and I just heard Dr. Fauci saying that there is a certain amount of aerosol going on, but not necessarily enough to call it airborne. Okay, so it's actually kind of borderline, is what I'm hearing them saying.
So how should it be treated?
So they're still deciding, like you said, like Caesar said, they're talking about now, should we be wearing masks when we go out in public? I still haven't heard that it's a hardcore yes. The problem again, there's a couple problems. Number one, there's not enough masks to go around for the healthcare workers, and they are priority. Absolutely, they are priority. The healthcare workers need the masks first.
Yeah, I agree. And
absolutely.
The doctors, nurses, EMT, all medical staff that have to go into work out of the hospital, doctors' offices, and clinics have to have a mask.
They have to have their mask first. Second priority, people who are sick need the mask second.
Okay.
So if you're the sick person, you have to have the mask, so you're not coughing, sneezing on somebody
else. Okay.
If you're not sick, then you really don't need the mask.
Who's third priority?
Then the third priority would be, is this airborne? Which we haven't decided that it is airborne.
Should we put a mask on every nursing home patient?
We don't really have that determination yet, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, they're just because they're a vulnerable class. I'm just thinking every way in the world to protect
Well,
them.
until the CDC decides that, then there's no reason.
So that would be rumor, and this is reality. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. Because I don't want to be the guy who look. I want to be sure that we are getting ahead of it.
I mean, maybe the CDC has decided that. I haven't looked today.
I don't know.
But they are changing that at any moment.
Because they're studying this thing, and it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when the president said, guys, let's hang on, come Easter, it's going to be okay, it's going to get warm, it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Ecuador, bodies in the street, that's the end of that, right? That was rumor. Right. This is reality.
Right.
That ain't going to work.
It is. It's a fluid thing, and they're changing it all the time. So you look these things up on the CDC. You look these things up on the WHO. So
Now, does the coronavirus live on a desk? Hard surfaces?
Yes. We have decided we've learned that from the cruise ship, that it's living at least 17 days on hard surfaces. Porous surfaces, less time. But on hard surfaces, it seems to be living at least 17 days.
So let's say I decide I am going to go out. I'm going to be real careful. But I go to the post office, which is still open. It's an essential business.
Now, wait. You moved on to another subject.
Okay.
Before
I'm getting ready to talk about touching.
I know, but we never got to finish social distancing in churches.
Oh yeah, you go back to her. Thank you. Keep me on track, Brock, Heidi. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Social distancing.
So we were talking about churches and social distancing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we talked about the social distancing. You were talking about, what was it, Sweden?
Sweden.
Okay, so Sweden is still wanting to live and let live, right? And so, and obviously they've seen an explosion, and you would really need what, and maybe they have the graph somewheres, but we would need to see this by population to see the ratio of the sick in the countries. Do they have a ratio graph? Actually?
Yeah, actually, if you go to my graph that I use, which is this one here by John Hopkins, you can see the total number of cases per country.
Per the population?
Well, you'd have to go, you could do some digging and get the population of each country and then compare that.
Because that would be interesting to see the ratio.
And that would be a great study to see the ratio.
I'm sure they have it somewhere.
Yeah.
But because you really want to see, because Sweden's a small country, so by that explosion you would want to see what is that ratio. That would be interesting to see the ratio.
Yeah.
Because China is a huge country.
Yeah.
So you'd like to see that ratio.
Well, they just decided not to give us the true numbers. They
Obviously.
just quit. And now they got 21, and now they have, and for a while it was a rumor that there was 21 or 23 million cell phone users in China that just went dead.
Right.
And that was a 2-week rumor, and people were calling me and Steve Quayle's people and Mike Around the World conspiracy theorists for this. But guess what? Yesterday, China came out and admitted 21 million cell phone users disappeared. So what happened to them? Well, they died. They died and they died. And how'd they die? They dropped over dead everywhere. They were burning them. They brought in 40 crematorium. And this is what Caesar is saying they're doing right now in the streets of Ecuador. You're not going to hear that on mainstream media.
Well, this is what is concerning about the numbers again. If the people are dying in the streets, are they getting those numbers in Ecuador?
What do you think? Have you seen one major network tell you about the bodies in the streets of the capital of Ecuador?
Well, I see this journalist from Peru, Mavila, putting it on her Twitter page, and that's how we know it.
A Peruvian anchor in one little town in Peru is telling us the truth, and we're sharing it today, and by tomorrow Fox News will have this story because they watch what I talk about, and then by tomorrow it'll be on Fox News. Guarantee it. I'll promise you. Fox News will start to cover the deaths in Central America, in Ecuador, and other nations where they're falling over dead.
And like Caesar said, this is the capital of Ecuador. This is not just a little tiny town somewhere that nobody knows about. This is the capital of Ecuador.
And also, Heidi, what Caesar's saying is, this isn't, yes, you could say it's a third world country, but I'm going to say it's a second world country.
No,
it's not a third world country. It's not a third world country. It's just when you have this quick amount of deaths that fast, look, folks, there are freezer trucks. I don't want to be graphic, but in New York, they're putting the bodies in the refrigerated truck and driving away. The morgues can't handle it. Guys, don't get mad at me. That is not rumor. That is reality.
It's overwhelming all systems, whether the healthcare systems, whether they're, the mortuaries. It's overwhelming all the systems.
Can we go back to social distancing?
And church.
And church.
Okay, so let's talk about the pastors that are trying. Pastor Rodney Howard-Browne thought that he was following the social distancing rules by putting all the six foot
feet apart.
each
Everybody was sitting
pew,
6 feet apart. Right.
And he thought, well, if I follow the social distancing rules, we'll still try to have church, although he was still not obeying the rule of the gathering of 500 people or whatever it was, right?
No, the rule is 10 people, and he had 500 and some people in there.
even though we still had 6 feet apart.
Right.
So this is my concern about when we made a blanket rule that all churches close.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up, and the DHS did a critical infrastructure. That's how they decided who was going to be closed and who was going to be open. The DHS has a plan of critical infrastructure, and that's who got the list of who's open, who's closed, all right? And apparently you needed to put in a disaster plan to be placed on the critical infrastructure. Everybody needs to know this for the next time around, which unfortunately it seems like we're going to have a next time around. And so
The churches must not have put any kind of,
disaster plans in.
nobody asked us if we could, and
Now you said the Samaritan Purse
yeah.
is still up and in operation
Yes.
with Billy Graham. And so I guess we need to look to Billy Graham and ask him,
Franklin Graham.
or
Billy's already.
keep looking to Billy
Billy's
Graham.
saying, look to
bless his
Jesus.
heart.
Billy's saying, all I tell you folks,
Keep
you better
looking to
keep your
Billy
eyes
Graham.
on Jesus, baby, because it's going to get worse.
Yes.
Right, Franklin Graham. Okay.
Yes, we need to look to Franklin Graham for leadership on this and how the churches could help in the next disaster like this, the next pandemic. Obviously, Samaritan Purse is a disaster relief program.
That's why they're allowed to operate, because that's what they do, is they operate
Right.
in emergencies.
But when you put a blanket, just a blanket, all churches are closed, period, there are a lot of churches that are community relief centers, such as food pantries. And a lot of churches are huge food pantries. So if we have groceries remaining open, food
Why couldn't
pantries,
food pantries be open?
especially if they're big food pantries, like we used to have a huge
Yeah,
food
we had a
pantry,
big one up there
a
in Stark
huge
County.
community outreach. We did a huge food bank, and we had a huge free clothing. We called it an alms center. We had huge free clothing, free diapers, free food. I mean, we had a huge community outreach center when we had our last church that we
Yes, we
pastored.
did. Yes, we did.
And so, I mean, we were vital to our community. We don't do that now.
At that
but-
time, we actually serviced the community more than the government did. We helped with food and clothing more people than the government.
And we weren't the only church
No.
that did that. I
No.
know there's a lot of churches that do huge community outreach. And so when you just blanketly say all churches close and you don't consider the community outreach that certain churches do, not all churches do, but certain churches are vital for the community. Certain churches have soup kitchens, and that's a vital community service needed. And then you say, because the schools are closed, kids aren't getting those 2 meals. Well, soup kitchens, if churches do soup kitchens, they could have provided that. Or food banks, they could have provided that help and need with the kids that aren't getting their meals from the schools.
Right.
So just this blanket, all churches are closed, period, and then they never look to us again in the middle of this pandemic is not okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's just not okay. And but it definitely serves a certain agenda, and that is you are shut down, period, and we don't want to hear from you again, period. And that is the answer that I am feeling. That's the
message you
the
feel you're
message
getting.
that I'm feeling, definitely. And yes, we've all went online, but I feel like this is also, a lot of people have went to church simply out of the, because mama wanted me to go to church and this and that, out of obligation. A lot of people have went to church just simply out of obligation, and so
I have to call you back on
and so I think that people that were in that category, that they were just going to church out of obligation, this is going to serve them as like, hey, I'm not going to go back. So I'm concerned, I'm very concerned that this is going to fuel the great falling away.
Heidi,
And I'm worried about that.
I know, and let's talk about this. Now, God told us to go online, and to form online church 10 years ago. So we're 10 years ahead of the rest of the church world here in America and really around the world. We are the first ever online church. This was the first ever broadcast on YouTube. When I started 10 years ago, YouTube was only 4 years old. There was no preachers at all on YouTube. I was a strange animal out there for them. But because of that, we're gathering today with 2,000 of our online followers just on one channel live. We're gathering together and we're getting spiritual nourishment, information, manifestation, salvation, healing. We were put in position for such a time as this for the end times.
I get that.
I get that. But we still need every church in the world to be able to operate and function. We need people, and people need how many? I don't know. People need physical contact. What's the rumor? The rumor is we can all just live sterile, but what is the reality?
Well, as you know, I did a lot of psych nursing, pediatric psych nursing with children. And one of the things is there's a failure, children have a thing called failure to thrive, and children that have been neglected, one of the things is literally to be healthy, you have to have 8 hugs a day. And some of the children,
8 hugs a day.
Big children.
Okay, big kids did it too. Yeah. Okay.
Some of the children that we would get that had been neglected would literally just bump into you because of touch.
Touch.
They just need touch, you know, and literally you have to have touch, and you have to have some kind of physical contact just to survive. There is that is
it's
just
a
part of survival.
Is it kind of the energy, the comfort, the assurances that you get from hugs?
There's a lot to it. You just have to have some touch, some assurances. Assurance is a big word there that you just used.
What's that one word you told me this morning? The culpability? No. What was that big word?
I don't know. I give you a big word this morning? I don't know, baby.
It's something to do with the virus, the germs, and it's the
I don't know. It's untelling what I told you.
Keep talking about the touch and feel.
Yes, but anyways, how are we going to get that with social distancing? I'm concerned. I'm concerned. And so, you know, and you were saying, you know, now that families are all of a sudden back in the home with each other. If you had a dysfunctional family before all of this, and now you're all in the home together, now there could be stresses out the wazoo. I mean, you know, so sometimes, and I know from growing up in a dysfunctional family, escape. School was my escape.
You could get out of that dysfunction.
You can get out of it, you know.
So now if all of a sudden you're sheltered in and there's an abusive situation, it could blow sky high.
It could be very dangerous, very, very dangerous. And for some of these kids and some of these moms, it can be a very dangerous situation for people. So just because we're all back in the home together doesn't mean that's a safe place for some people, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now,
and on the other hand, some people are finally having a chance to get their look at their spouses, because we were working 24/7, and finally we can work from home and take a look and say, oh, there you are. I haven't seen you in a long time.
And so in some cases, the family unit is doing better because everybody's home, they're playing Monopoly, you know, and everybody's getting a chance to get to know each other. So in some cases, this is really helping the family unit. But in other cases, if the family unit was already so dysfunctional, it can become a dangerous environment. So again, priorities, and this is why people need to have church and Christ and spiritual help so that they don't, no matter what state you're in, you're able to be okay, you know, if everything's done in a healthy way. And oh, by the way, I'm not so sure this new modern family is going to get along just fine. You know, anytime you do anything against God's law, and you say no, this, you want to redefine. I'll be careful. You want to redefine the family outside of God's family, get ready for some dysfunctional mess. It isn't going to work, honey. Okay? And I want to say something about this. God told me, I understand, Perry Stone has said something similar. God revealed to him, and I'll tell you, God told me, he said, look, Paul, this plague shall pass. It's bad, but it shall pass. But more plagues shall follow. He took me straight to the Bible, and he showed me a verse, and he said, do you see where it says famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places? It isn't just earthquakes in divers places. There will be famines and plagues and earthquakes in divers places. And this is the beginning of sorrows. He said, you are in that time now. That's why we're seeing multiple messiahs starting to rise up, okay? They'll say he's over in the desert or he's over in these chambers. Believe it not, for I'm coming in the clouds, okay? We got to rightly divide this thing. And another thing's going to happen. Wars, rumors of wars. Nations are rising against nations. This is going to accelerate now. Guys, the new reality. It's not a rumor. End time prophecy is not a rumor. It is a reality. I felt I got to get that to you. And I also agree with you. The Lord revealed to you that this virus that God did not do this virus.
Thank you.
Man made this virus. But God says it doesn't matter who made it. They're going to happen. Plagues are going to happen. And we can't keep mixing the seed, guys. God told us in Genesis, don't mix the seed. Well, we go and mix the seed. We start mixing the animals. We start breeding interspecies. We start doing DNA splicing and GMO products. And next thing you're going to get famine, disease, plagues. Our bodies weren't made to have the earth corrupted like this, Heidi. And wait till blood starts touching blood. Wait till people can't even touch one another for the transference of certain things. That's going to be, it's so much. And people won't be able to know who to trust and who not to trust. It's starting to fall apart. We're in the end times. I hate to speak out 10 years sometimes ahead, but that's kind of my job, is to tell people what's coming. Heidi, don't get me started. What other things are, Brock, I hear you. Give us 5 more minutes. What else is rumor and what is reality as it comes to this coronavirus?
Well, I think I don't really want to speak to that much more. I want to speak to the fact that we're all in a new reality. and this has taken everybody by surprise. And everybody, somebody was talking about how we're all stressed. And I'm like, I'm not stressed. But then, you think about it, it's like, yeah, it is. The reason is we're all different right now. Our routines have been changed. Everything has been changed. We have all changed. We've all lost something in some way, some fashion. Like we're not
suffering loss.
We're all suffering losses. So we're all in stages of grief. We've all either lost the fact that we're not gathering with our church families, or we're not gathering with people that we worked with, or we're not gathering with, we're not able to see our extended family. I went up and took care of your mom and dad, but you haven't seen your mom and dad in when? But I went up and took care of them yesterday. I went up and took care of my uncle yesterday. Our elder families, I had to go up and take care of them.
My dad's birthday's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, man, I really want to go up, take a day off, spend his 84th birthday with my mom and dad, and would like to have taken him out to dinner and spend a day. And I'm thinking, I can't take him to dinner because there's no restaurants open. But the second thing is, I'm afraid I might bring the virus in on my parents.
Right. So
by not knowing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I'm suffering now a loss. Mm-hmm. They're suffering a loss.
Right.
And now, I'll be honest with you, whenever, I don't want to go to the grocery store. I personally don't.
Right.
I'm a little older than you,
right.
So
I'm the only one that goes out now.
Because I'm a little nervous.
To do these things.
I'm a little older and I've had some health issues, so it's best I not probably go out there. Right. So you're taking that on. Mm-hmm. And whenever I do get in a car and drive somewhere, I start thinking, are they going to pull me over? Am I going where I'm supposed to be going? I never would have thought about that.
Right.
So some of the freedoms.
It's all these new realities that we're facing.
I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just realizing that this is a different world now.
Yes. Yes.
Thank God we have this, we can gather here and can talk about this and look at what the world's doing. And we got to keep bringing this info to you. We're not trying to bring back bad news. We're just saying, look, if somebody don't inform you what's going on and get the reality of it with the biblical, the Bible told us this was coming. Nobody wanted to know. Nobody wants to believe it, but it's here. And the Bible says it's woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. For the earth is going to mourn. It's going to travail. Do you realize Isaiah 24? It's 1 o'clock, Heidi. We got another hour to go. I don't know. Do you want to just hang with it, or no? Don't you?
I have a class.
Oh, you have a class. You got to
sorry.
You got to study Hebrew.
Yes.
Okay, go find out what they're saying. Then we'll be right back, guys. After that, hour number 2, I'm going to go down all the news articles and get you up to speed on everything. Heidi, thank you.
Have you looked around? Have you heard the sound of mama's crying? Or do you turn away when you see the face of the innocent dying? In these darkest days, are you not afraid that it's too late? You gotta get down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg and plead. You gotta keep praying. You gotta cry rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. Can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this. Give this world back to God. Have you lost your love? Feel like giving up? Has your heart been broken? Are your kids okay? Do they come home safe? Do you lie there hoping? You can make a wish, you can knock on wood, oh, it won't do you no good. You gotta get down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg and plead. You gotta keep on praying. You gotta cry rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. We can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this. Give this world back to God. You gotta get down on your knees, believe, fold your hands and beg and plead, and keep on praying. You gotta cry rain, tears of pain, pound the floor and scream his name, 'cause we're still worth saving. Can't go on like this and live like this. We can't love like this. You can hope the best, make a wish. The only answer is give this world back to God. Oh, give it back. Hey!
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2. We've got a ton of stuff to cover, so we're going to cover now the current news. As we've reported in the first hour, 965,246 cases globally around the world. There are of coronavirus. 49,236 people are confirmed dead of the coronavirus. We believe that number, though, is very small compared to what's globally happened if you count China. And China is admitting that 21 million cell phone users went silent. And guys, if they died of the coronavirus, then we're not anywhere near getting started with this thing. The United States is at 217,263 cases of coronavirus with over 4,000 people dead. Italy has 110,000 cases with 13,000 dead. Spain has 110,000 cases with 10,000 dead. China, we don't know. Germany, 81,000. France, 57,000. Iran, 50,000. United Kingdom, 34,000. Switzerland, 18,000. Turkey's at 15,000. Belgium's at 15,000. The Netherlands are at 14,000. Notice here, it's China, it's Iran, it's the United States, and it's Europe. But now Central America, South America is just starting. And the rest of the Middle East. And what about Africa? And the United States is nowhere out of the woods yet. As New York, it is absolutely, this pandemic has become absolutely insane. And like we said earlier, as Heidi was with me, Central America, we had Caesar come on in the first hour. If you missed that, he does explain what the Ecuadorians are going through. They're dropping dead in the streets of Ecuador, and they can't even get ambulances to pick them up. They're starting to cremate the bodies of their family members right in the middle of the street to keep from getting everybody else sick. They don't understand what they're supposed to do. They're taking the mask off dead people and putting them on themselves to try to protect themselves. Unbelievable misunderstanding and misinformation. Spain, the coronavirus death toll did pass 10,000 last night. For the second day in a row, Spain has recorded its highest daily death toll. The coronavirus pandemic death toll in Spain hits 10,000 as the country's reported its highest number of deaths on a single day since the outbreak began. 2 days in a row. They are really up against it, guys. Mike Around the World is going to be our guest tonight. We will be talking of coronavirus. We will be discussing incoming debris field. Yes, Sweden now has decided they're going to do something about the coronavirus. Their way of trying to do nothing and just let it work itself out and be okay, that ain't cutting it. People are dying. People are getting sick. It's spreading. They're going to have to take on some measures. They may have waited too late, guys. They might have messed up and let this thing take off. And then when they try to shut it down, they can't. And I'm not so sure you can shut this thing down. I'm with Perry Stone. Perry Stone said the Lord said to him that this plague was not from God, that this was done by man. And Heidi got the same word. She fasted and prayed and said, God, tell me. Your word says if I ask something of you, you'll tell me. And is this virus from you? And he said, no, this is not from me. This is from man. But it is fulfilling prophecy of the Bible. Man does fulfill God's prophecies. God will send plagues, and he has sent plagues. But so has man caused plagues. And what's the evil? He said this is the hands of evil men. This was done by the hands of evil men. Now, I don't know if that means it was a bioweapon or if it was, as you said now, as Heidi said, scientists agree this thing was man-made. It came out of a lab in China. Was it intentionally done or unintentionally? We don't know. But it came from there. It came out of the lab, and it's uncontrollable now. And we're going to have to deal with it. This is the new reality. It is one of the end time plagues of the book of Revelation. I want to welcome all 286 of you with us live on our backup YouTube channel. I want to welcome all of you, 2,000 of you over at our main YouTube channel. And then, of course, we had a bunch of people watching on new live stream, Roku satellite television, Twitch and Facebook Live and publiclyprophecy.com live. And then tonight we will be on Periscope, and we will be back on the direct radio line tonight. Okay, so you can let people know that. Latin America, the coronavirus cases have now hit 20,000. More than 20,000 cases of the COVID-19 were registered in Latin America and the Caribbean islands. Double that figure from 5 days ago. It is starting to take off. The infections will spread across this region. Guatemala, they're going to start dying. More than 20 more wounded in riots over the coronavirus fears. In Mexico. So now, not only will the coronavirus spread, but they're going to start killing each other over the spreading of it. And you got the drug cartels down there, and that's why President Trump yesterday in his press conference brought in the Joint Chief of Staff and is saying that they're going to deal with the drug cartels of Venezuela. And he's sending down Navy ships and I don't know what all to deal with it. They've already, the State Department under William Barr has already said that they are going to prosecute what looks like Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro for drug trafficking and human trafficking. I'm thinking we're getting ready to see the United States go in and remove Maduro some way or another. Or maybe the Russians are going to take him out and get him to go, fly him out of there and put him in Sochi somewhere we can hang out with Boot Scoot and Putin. I don't know. But something's about ready to happen in Venezuela in the next few months as the president has made that obviously something taking place. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump says the federal government will intervene to rescue people from a desperate coronavirus-stricken cruise ship. The Corona cruise ship has been stricken at Holland, America, Zaandam. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis said he would only rescue the 49 Floridians on board. There's 6,000 people on this ship. 49 of them are from Florida. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, said, I'll let those 49 get off the boat, and that's it. Trump said, no, we're not going to do that. Everybody's going to get off the boat. We can't let this boat just float around out there full of people sick. Matter of fact, 4 people are dead in the freezer. You got to get these people off this boat. Now, what do you do with them? They're from different countries. They've been floating out there in the ocean for 3 weeks, full of coronavirus. Nobody wants them. They keep showing up at different ports. Everybody says, go away. This is the new reality. Heidi's telling you there's rumor and then there's reality. And the reality is we're dealing with a plague of biblical proportion. And yes, they've wrote articles about me in the UK and they said Begley is the corona prophet. No, I'm just saying that this is a plague of the end times. Yes, a plague of the beginning of sorrows, as I can show you in the Bible, but it's not the end of the world. It's the beginning of the sorrows. And that's all in the Bible. And I don't want to say it. I'm not a negative preacher because I'm telling you this. I'm saying it's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The Lord, the Bible says in Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me, he maketh me to lie down in the green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou's anointed my head with oil. My cup is running over. Surely mercy and goodness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, I've had I took medicine, malaria. I took that chloroquine when I got ready to go to India in 1997. That kept me from getting malaria, but I got cholera instead. And I have had hepatitis A when I was on a trip to Israel and then to Canada. And that took me 7 months to get over that. I can say I don't want coronavirus. And I could say that anytime you get deathly ill from something like this, guys, look at it, it's killing some people in 48 hours. So there is a new reality here, and we have to stay focused and prayed up. And we're going to have to start believing God. And that doesn't mean you're to have any fear just because this is happening. I don't want you to have any fear. You got to walk in faith, not in fear, okay? But it's a reality what's going on. It is truly a reality what's going on. Brock is saying, there is a spiritual sadness on the earth right now. You can feel it. He's right. And I think that's what Heidi was saying. We're not stressed, but there's an underlying realization this isn't the same world I was in. And you're worried about your kids, you're worried about your parents and your grandparents, and you're worried about your husband and your wife and your uncle and your siblings and people that are working on the front line every day, the nurses, the doctors, the EMTs, the medical staff. I'm worried about people. I'm worried about our military that still have to defend the front line of freedom despite the invisible enemy called the coronavirus, like the President of the United States likes to say. Guys, a study finds that Trump's miracle drug does help COVID-19. Praise God. And Trump gave the glory to the Lord. The New York Times, the Washington Post aren't going to enjoy this report, but a relatively small study involving the coronavirus patients in China has determined that the malaria drug that President Trump has been pushing as a potential coronavirus miracle cure actually do seem to be working in preventing COVID-19 and the disease caused by the novel coronavirus from the progressing into what is a most lethal stage called the coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, this news will send a ripple of excitement through the medical community, according to one doctor. In the New York Times said the malaria drug hydrochloroquine helped to speed the recovery of a small number of patients who were mildly ill from the coronavirus, according to doctors in China. Cough, fever, pneumonia, and went away faster. Then the disease seemed less likely to turn severe in people who received hydroxychloroquine. I got it. Then a comparison group who didn't get the drug. So if you gave people the drug, they got better quick. If you don't give them the drug, they get a lot worse. Maybe they die, maybe they don't. The authors of the report said that the medication was promising, but that more research was needed. But look, go ahead and give it out, though. While you're researching, hand the thing out. Okay? I just say, use it. I want to welcome all of you that are with us. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, said, I'd be lying to say Trump has not been responsive to the coronavirus. The governor of the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, said he'd be lying if he did not give credit to President Trump for adequately handling this coronavirus pandemic. During an interview with CNN yesterday on network anchor Jake Tapper, who really doesn't like Trump at all. Let's just be honest. That whole network doesn't like Trump. He asked Governor Newsom, do you feel pressured to compliment the Trump administration to receive federal assistance? What a stupid question. Jake Tapper, you're not a journalist. You don't ask the governor, hey, governor, do you feel like do you feel pressure that you got to compliment the president so that he gives you stuff you need? That is the wrong question. That's not a journalistic question. That's a loaded question that assumes that Trump has to be, that he isn't trying to help you for the real concern of the citizens of the state of California. And I love the fact that Governor Newsom said, do you feel, here's what Tapper said, do you find yourself by necessity tempting being careful what you say in terms of any issues you might have with the federal response? Tapper asked, to which Governor Newsom said he wants to avoid partisanship during this crisis. Let me just be candid with you. I'd be lying to you to say that he hasn't been responsive to our needs. He has. And so as a question, as sort of an offer of objectivity, I have to acknowledge that publicly. The fact is, every time I've called the president, he's quickly gotten on the line. He said nothing, noting several actions that the administration has taken to mitigate the spread of the COVID-19 in his state. Thank you, Governor Gavin Newsom, for telling Jake Tapper the flat-out truth that the president is not playing politics with this virus, but CNN is. Jake has no credibility. Guys, when are these guys, how long are these guys going to still be the anchors at CNN and MSNBC? Do you know, I can tell you right now, I know 10 people personally that could do a better job, myself being one of them. And I'm not bragging. I could do a better job on those networks. Myself, and I know 9 other people at least. Doug Hagman, put that man on one of the major networks. Lisa Haven. I know 10 of them personally. That if we all had the jobs that are on the 3 major networks, if you could at least spread us out, there would be way more truth being spoken to the American people from a perspective of the really heart for the nation and not being politically minded. Just telling the facts. I don't want the job because I've already got one bigger than that. My job is preach the gospel and use this platform to get it done. But I'm just saying. I mean, I wouldn't take it if it was there. I'm just saying. I know at least 10 more people could do a better job. Drake? Yeah, Drake would tell the truth. Thank you. Okay. Cruise ship. Let's get off that, Brock. Let's get off that. Okay. Cruise ship. A cruise ship sunk a Venezuelan Navy ship. What? That happened, Brock, last night. So you got this cruise ship that's kind of cruising by, and Venezuela's Navy came over and tried to make this cruise ship pull into their dock. Now, the cruise ship wouldn't even go in there. And they said, no, we don't want to. We're not even going that direction. And this Venezuelan Navy ship started firing shots at it, shooting at them. And then the Venezuelan Navy ship rammed the cruise ship, kept ramming it, and then back up, and then come back and ram it, and smacking it. And you could see the damage there. They hit it right there. But guess what happened? The Navy ship sunk. They broke the bow. They sunk. And the cruise ship went on down the road. Guys, if your Navy ship can't take out a cruise ship, then Nicolas Maduro, you're in bad shape. Russia has done a very good thing. Boot scooting Putin has done a very good thing. He did a good thing. Boot scooting did a good thing. Russia has sent several planes, but one plane, an N-124 cargo plane, he sent medical supplies to New York to help the people of New York. I got a picture. There he is. Even though Vladimir Putin has had a meeting with his infected doctor while he was going around to the hospitals visiting coronavirus patients wearing a hazmat suit. Once he took off the suit, he shook hands with the doctor. The doctor has come down with the coronavirus 10 days later, so that means Putin was exposed. Vladimir Putin's working remotely, still running his country, and here's the ship, Brock, that he actually sent to New York to help the people of New York. So I mean, I just want to take my hat off and say thank you. You know, the Bible says give honor to when honor is due. And in this case, I give credit to Vladimir Putin for reaching out to the Americans with a plane load of supplies that were desperately needed in New York City. He said, I got them. I can have them there in 10 hours. I'll just fly the ship straight from Moscow to New York and I'll help you guys out. Trump won't forget that. Trump won't forget that. He'll work with Putin because of that. We have to, folks. And oh, by the way, more news. Trump expects Saudi Crown Prince and Russian President Vladimir Putin to cut back 10 million barrels of oil. Apparently, Trump has been in contact with Putin, and Putin has been on the phone with the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And they, of course, are both going to cut back oil productions by 10 million barrels a day because the price of oil is under $20 a barrel. And, you know, that's at some point that will cripple the oil industry. Its price is just absolutely too low. It costs more to make it than that. So, you know, they have to do something here. And so by cutting back on the demand for a while, by cutting back on the supply, it can help level out the pricing for everyone. And so that's an important statistic. I want to welcome all of you that are with us live. I'm sorry if I sometimes get a little excited, but you know, I just get tired of that foolishness out of CNN sometimes, and anyone else that does that stuff. I just can't deal with, you know, and you know, Gavin Newsom knew what he was doing. Gavin Newsom didn't take the bait. He defended the president and said, look, this guy gets on the phone. When I call, he gets right on the phone. He helps me. We got to lay this stuff down. And aren't you glad? I just want to say this one. Aren't you glad Hillary's not the president right now? Or Obama, for that matter. Or even Bush, for that matter. Social Security recipients who don't usually file tax returns are going to get their $1,200 check, according to the Treasury, in a reversal. But most high school seniors and college students still won't get any money at all because they don't normally file tax returns. So they're going off the 2018 tax returns. So if you didn't file a tax return in 2018, you're not going to get a $1,200 check. You have to have paid taxes or filed tax returns, okay? But Social Security, you seniors out there who get Social Security and you haven't filed tax returns, you're not required to file them, okay? You're going to get your checks because you need it. Okay, your Social Security check's not quite enough anyway, so they're going to send you an extra $1,200 in a one-time payment just to help you out because you know, your expenses and your needs are there as well. And if you know how you get into the doctor, you can't get the doctor, you might be struggling getting your meds. There's all kinds of issues you're going through now. You got to pay someone to go get your groceries and bring them to you. You know, there's different things that you may be encountering. And that's going to get taken care of. So I want to thank the President of the United States for making sure that that got put in that bill. That was one of the things he said, that better be in there. And they've made sure it is. Oh, by the way, I've got more breaking news, Brock. This story here messes my mind up. A Los Angeles train engineer is charged with trying to ram into the U.S. hospital ship Mercy. What? Why in the world would you? How does a train hit a boat? John Candy's is it plane, trains, and automobiles? How do you drive a train into a boat? Well, apparently there's a train track that runs into a dock area for unloading and unloading. And the hospital ship Mercy that's sitting over there in Los Angeles to help in this coronavirus situation, this dude, the engineer of the train, thought he would just take the train and drive it in, ram it into the ship. But they won't release this guy's name. This sounds like terrorism to me. It sounds like terrorism to me. I really wish I knew this guy's name, background, to understand this story. Doesn't that sound like terrorism to you? What in the world is going on with people? Have they lost their minds? But it just keeps happening here, there, and everywhere else. It just, the wickedness, the confusion, the chaos. But now we do have some more breaking news. Israeli airstrikes yesterday in Syria was, I repeat, it's confirmed, it was aimed at an Iranian general. The Israelis were trying to kill a specific general. As reported out of Damascus by the Bulgarian military reports today that the Israeli Air Force was launched an airstrike on targets near the city of Homs. Some local sources said today that the airstrike target was a meeting with senior Syrian and Iranian officers. And so what Israel tried to do was fly in there and kill all them officers on both Syrians and Iranians. Specifically, they wanted that Iranian general. According to sources with the Arab portal Shork News, among the participants in the meeting at Shirat Air Base, located at 38 kilometers southeast of the administrative center of Homs province, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's generals were meeting there. A commander of the special forces of the Quds within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran, Brigadier General Ismail Kanai. No, not Qassam Salami, and not Hassan Soleimani. Now Hassan Soleimani, he's dead. Qassam Salami, he's in charge now over all of the inter-revolutionary guards. No, this is one of his generals, though, a man by the name of General Ismail Kanai. Okay, Kanai. But they did not kill him. He was targeted, but he was not killed. Guys, in the last days, the Bible talks about there be a lot of signs. Look at this swamp. This messed my mind up. But in the First Landing State Park of Virginia, look at this. This is a swamp that turned into a rainbow. What? A young man and his girlfriend were walking in the woods, and they came across a pool of the swamp that was a perfect, beautiful rainbow in the water. An unbelievable, beautiful, spectacular view of a rainbow. And could this be a sign that there's hope coming? Now, this is a swamp, and I'm thinking about this. It's in Virginia. It's not too far from the big swamp called Washington, D.C. Could this be a sign that there's a promise coming, a hope is coming? That, God gave the rainbow to Noah of a better days. I mean, could this be a sign of a promise of God that the swamp is being cleaned? Let's just pray. And what a spectacular, beautiful sight in a swamp. I mean, I just wonder about that. Just incredible. Oh, and I got more news for you guys. And astronomers have found the edge of the Milky Way at last. What? It's 1.9 million light years. The astronomers have found the edge of the Milky Way at last. Our galaxy is a whole lot bigger than it looks. New works finds that the Milky Way stretches nearly 2 million light years across, more than 15 times wider than its luminous spiral disk. The number could lead to a better estimate of how massive the galaxy is and how many other galaxies is there. How big is our God? I mean, our God is bigger than all of this. He's bigger than the coronavirus. He's bigger than the wars and rumors of wars. He's bigger than the hatred and the murder. He's bigger than the wickedness and the sin. He's bigger than the new world order. He's bigger than the Antichrist and the false prophet. He's bigger than the scheming, lying, slippery, slimy serpent of Satan. It is God created all things and it is good. Wow. Oh, praise God. I'll tell you, it is getting exciting. But anyway, this vast halo of dark matter, presumably full of invisible particles, engulfs both disk and stretches far beyond them. But because the dark halo emanates no light, its diameter is hard to measure. And astrophysicist at Durham University in England and her colleagues have used nearby galaxies to locate the Milky Way's edge. The precise diameter is 1.9 million light years. I mean, that's unbelievable, man. That's huge. And to put that size in perspective, imagine a map in which the distance between the sun and the earth is 1 inch. Okay? Now the sun to the earth is 92 million miles. So let's just say you make a map and you say, okay, we know that really from the earth to the sun, it's 92 million miles, 93 million miles. Let's make that 1 inch. If the Milky Way's heart were at the center of the earth, the galaxy's edge would be 4 times farther away than the moon is, at every inch being 93 million miles. 4 times from the earth, 4 times farther than the moon, saying that every inch is 93 million miles. That's insane! That's unbelievable! That messes with my membrane! Seriously, that's huge! So God is amazing, okay? God is amazing. Oh, by the way, there is some weird stuff going on in space, though somebody's got to help me understand. This one here, Brock, messes with me a little bit. A NASA photo captured something that what looks like an alien creature, okay? A UFO expert claims to see a reptile alien on Mars. Now that is the NASA rover that's up there on Mars. And it is some beautiful pictures of Mars. You know, God created Mars. But wait till you see what the little rover spotted up there. That thing. And a UFOologist studied it and said, now look at it. It doesn't have the same color as the rest of the rocks, and it has a long tail on it like a rat. It does look like it has 2 legs on both sides. It looks like a reptilian, almost like a iguana. I mean, it's kind of like a fat iguana or a... Is that Dino's baby? I mean, what is that? Now that is an actual, NASA has finally released the photo. UFOologists have studied it, and it does appear, by looking at it, it's like, wow, is that, I mean, it doesn't have the same color. Put that back up there again, Brock. It really doesn't have the same color as the rest of the surface around it. But if it was a just let's say, if it was a little reptilian creature, where's the water? And how does this thing survive without water? Now it could be, if it is real, which I don't know, but Mars did have water. And does Mars have water? Underground. Well, maybe this thing can crawl down into the ground and go down into where the water is, and then it comes back out, and it can also live on the top. You know, Mars is a very hot planet, but it has big swings. I mean, it can go, 150 degrees during the day and then like 75 degrees below zero at night. Certain parts of the planet has different temperature base. I'm not saying that it is a creature, but I'm not saying it's not, because God could put creatures on Mars. I mean, why not? He can do anything he wants. Look, did we just explain how big the Milky Way is? Our God is able. So I don't know. I don't know if that's some kind of a horned lizard, like a desert lizard. Here's what they're saying. Claims about an alien creature on Mars was made by Scott Waring. Waring said he came across this image of the alleged alien creature. He was going through the photos at a website that was of photographs released by NASA. The photo that caught his eye was captured by NASA's Curiosity rover that Brock showed you. According to the details of the photo, it was taken on September 1st, 2016. The photo features a massive mound on Mars filled with different sized rocks. As Waring was viewing the photo, he spotted a strange looking object near the left side of the image. After zooming in on the image, Waring said he saw that it appeared to be an alien creature on Mars. What? While looking through his Sol 1448 of Mars, I noticed a strange creature on the hillside. The object seemed to be a species of lizard, but unlike anything we have here on Earth, the creature has massive hind legs and two front thinner legs. Based on its appearance, it alleged the creature looked like a desert horned lizard, which can be commonly found in very dry regions of Western North America. Although it looked like a reptile from Earth, Waring noted it had 6 legs based on the photo. It also had a certain feature that were similar to those of certain mammals. 6 legs in total, he said. The animal has a short reptile-like tail that curls at its end, and the head of the creature is more similar to that of a mammal than a reptile. It has tall ears bent forward like a dog's. It has a long snout area, a thick mouth area, also similar to that of a dog. According to Warren, like cats, dogs, and certain reptiles on Earth, alleged creature could be a member of species that was kept as a pet, maybe? No, now he's reaching. All right, anyway, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. That does look, could it be a rock formation that just has this characteristics and our mind is playing games with us, okay? Again, I don't know the answer to that. That could very well be. But, oh, by the way, Italy is, again, the coronavirus, we've told you, their death rate now, about 11% in Italy, 10% in Spain. We've got so much going on that wars, rumors of wars. Good news is, I think the President of the United States, he's going to do another press conference tonight at 5 o'clock. I'm going to be live tonight with Mike from around the world. We got so much to talk to him about. Obviously, he wants to talk about these incoming asteroids. Brock, would you tell people about the Megaquake 2020 conference? You don't want to miss it. Mike will be speaking in that conference. So will Steve Quayle and Gil Brazard and Bishop Larry Ragland and John Moore. Due to coronavirus concerns, Megaquake 2020 cannot be held live in Indianapolis, but you won't miss it. Everyone that's bought a ticket will be able to see it on demand May 1st and 2nd. And I'm going to send you a free gift as well. And if you want a ticket, go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. We'll talk about Planet X, earthquakes, volcanoes, Cascadia subduction zone, New Madrid, all of it. Go to my website now. We've also, I was supposed to tell you this when it came in, our silver products. I forgot, and I was going to do that early in the show just to get this out real quick. We did get the lozengers in, so those are available for you right now, and it's back up on the website, so you can get those. So all of these items are in right now. Please, if you're going to get some of these, place your orders right now, okay? Right now. And I'm going to ask you to limit, if you're buying lozengers, if you don't mind, limit it to 3 bags, no more than 3 bags if you would. But the silver's available. This you can drink a swig of that every day like I do. The silver toothpaste, it has a great wintergreen taste with it, fresh, killing all that bacteria stuff in your mouth. Get the gel, which is so good on any kind of wounds and things. I mean, this is nano silver technology that's got 3 patents on it. And of course, the silver lozengers is just amazing. Now, the silver lozengers we have does not have the Manuka honey in it. It has vitamin C. It's the exact same nano silver lozengers, but instead of Manuka honey, it's vitamin C. Matter of fact, Brock, you could get me a bag and I will show them that. I don't think it shows that on the website, but that's what just came in. Manuka honey is becoming very hard. Can you get me one of those, Brock? One of the silver bags, lozenger bags with the, I just want to be sure everyone knows it because I promised that as soon as we got this in and had it back available on the website, that we wanted to make sure you knew. Now, the silver with Manuka honey is awesome, but the silver with vitamin C may actually even be better for us during this time right now as well. And the Manuka honey just sold out. So I don't know, somebody bought 10,000 bags at Amazon or something. So we have the vitamin C. I want you to know right now that I want you to have the products that would be very, very, very beneficial for you and your family. And those are available. What's going on right now in these end times. We're going to continue to see all kinds of different things going on. People got to do their best to take care of their health. And it's a very important thing to do. Very, very important thing to do. And let me just say to you, if you go to our website, all of our silver products are available at the website at www.paulbagleyprophecy.com. Make sure you get your... okay, well, she's got it probably put up in the room. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. Let me just say real quick, give your life to Jesus Christ. But before you consider all the things that are happening, I want to remind you of something very important, very, very important, that we have to start leaning on one another, and we got to start being a kinder and gentler and more love one toward another. Because in the time we're in, the pink moon is coming, Brock, on April 7th, my dad's birthday. Don't forget that. That's going to be a significant sign in the heavens. And that's a sign. The pink moon won't actually be pink, folks. But it means that spring has come. Spring is here. And it's the first full moon of April. It's known as the pink moon. And it happens to land on my dad's birthday. So we're very happy that everybody's looking for some hope. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. And there is hope through Christ. And we're going to get through these things. And God gave me an assurance. He said, Paul, this plague shall pass, but more plagues shall come. For these are the beginning of sorrows. And he said to me, the earth is going to travail. It's going to mourn. It is going to travail. The birthing pains of the coming of Jesus Christ are here. And they are not birthing pain. They're not, it isn't just a term. Pains are painful. This is going to be painful upon humanity. The birthing pains of the coming of Christ is going to be painful for the world. So that is what we are witnessing. That doesn't mean you lose your joy. That doesn't mean you lose your faith. That means you actually should increase your faith, because this means the Bible is coming to pass right before your eyes. I want you to type, I want to be saved. I want to be saved. I will write your name down, and if you want to be saved, we will pray together in the name of the Lord. This is your moment. This is your hour. This is your day to be saved. Do it right now. Just type, I want to be saved.
You ask me how it is that I'm still standing, how I've often made it through this storm.
We're going to get through this storm.
I can't boast.
Brandy wants to be saved.
Special power. There is no secret. I just held on, and I held on till the storm was over. I don't claim to be.
Cindy wants to be saved. Jules wants to be saved. Cindy Bird, Jules Creso, Heath and Bobby are rededicating.
It's not because I'm good, not
Scott
because I'm great,
Nee
not because
wants to be
I'm
Keen
strong.
wants to be saved.
I held on.
Dennis Chizuru wants to be saved. What about you? What about you? Ryan Birchkin wants to be saved.
Finally happening.
We're going to have to trust God, folks, through this time. We're going to have to believe God. Ken W. is rededicating.
But while I
Lord, Gerald wants to be saved.
I held on till the storm was over. Oh, I don't claim to be a hero.
Maliki wants to be saved.
I don't have all the answers. I held on till the storm was over.
How about it? Do it now.
It's not because
Do it right now. Just type, I want to be saved. Let me pray with you.
I'm strong. I held on.
Ivan, his wife is from Ecuador and wants prayer. Ivan lives up in Montreal. I met him and his wife earlier this year down in Florida. Wonderful people. Noel wants to be saved. Tony wants to be saved.
Till the storm was over.
Linda's rededicating to the Lord.
It's not because I'm good, not because I'm great, not because I'm strong.
No, they're not cracking down Monroe. That's because Jim Baker said it was a cure. We're not saying it's a cure. Gotta get the facts straight. And this is the wrong time to bring it up anyway. Marion and Emma want to be saved. Praise God. There's other people out there that are watching that aren't saved, that need to give their life to Jesus Christ. Only one place can hide from the coming storm. He's right. Tender Rock is right. You can't stop the prophecies of the last days. You can't sit in your bed, pull your cover over your head and cry and whine and wish it would go away or just quit believing the Bible. It's coming. Angela Garcia wants to be saved. People are coming to Christ. Do it now. There's 13 of you that want to be saved. We're going to play this song one more time. What are you going to do?
You ask me how it is that I'm still standing. How I've often made it through this storm.
I got Noel. Thank you.
I can't boast of any special power.
Do it now.
There is no secret. I just held on. And I
Peter Gomez is rededicating to Christ.
till the storm was over. I don't claim to be a hero. I don't have all the answers. I held on.
Angela Garcia wants to be saved. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
It's not because I'm good, not because I'm great, not because I'm strong. I held on.
Some of you, God has protected you, has given you His mercy and grace. He is extending time on this earth for you to be saved. When are you going to come to Him? Are you going to do this?
I can tell
Wesley Barma wants to be saved.
I've got a lot of blessings I can call my own. There's been times
Christopher Dahl wants to be saved.
Make it
There's others.
while I would wait.
Do it now.
Oh, I just held
Break out.
on. I held on.
This is your moment.
The storm was over.
The storm is raging.
I don't claim to be.
I got Marion Crosto and Emma.
I don't have all the answers. I held on till the storm was over. It's not because I'm good, not because I'm great, not because I'm strong. I held on till the storm was over. I don't claim to be a hero.
This is your moment. You own it.
Have all the answers. I held on.
Christopher wants to be saved.
Was over. It's not because I'm good,
Yes, I got Ryan Birchman.
Not because I'm strong, I held on. Oh, I held on. Oh, I just held on.
Shazda Mani wants to be saved. Right now I've got 18 people that want to be saved. We're going to get a song. If you're watching right now and you want to be saved, I want you to do something. I'm going to pray. Right now I'm going to pray, Brock. And those who want to be saved, just pray with me right now. Father, in the name of Jesus, I want to be saved. I want to be born again. I want to be washed in the blood of the Lamb. I think I got Ryan already. I'm asking Jesus Christ to come into my life, to come into my soul, to come in my mind, to come in my spirit. I'm asking you, Lord, to forgive me of my sins and to cleanse me from the sins of the world. And Chris DeFipiano wants to be saved. I'm asking you, Lord, to take away the guilt and the shame and all the pain and the scars. And I'm repenting of my sins and I'm confessing my sins to God. And I'm asking Jesus Christ to set me free because I believe, and I receive Jesus as my Savior. I believe that Jesus rose from the dead, that He's coming back, and I want to be saved. And so right here, right now, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, in Jesus' name, I am saved. I'm saved. I'm saved. God bless you. Welcome to the family, folks. Welcome to the family.
I am again down on my knees. Cares of this world can get the best of me. Sometimes there are burdens no human hand can smooth, but with your touch they're gone. That's the peace of loving you. Only you know what tomorrow brings, but I count on you to be my everything. You always help me overcome wherever I go through. Lord, I know you love me, that's the peace of loving you. Lord, you are the manna when I need the breath of life. You dwell within my soul when the river has run dry. And all my happiness, it lies within the truth. Knowing that you love me, that's the peace of loving you. With the peace of loving you, I have no fear in death. I want my lips to praise you with my final breath. Lord, you are the manna when I need the breath of life. You dwell within my soul when the river has run dry. And all my happiness, it lies within the truth. Knowing that you love me, that's the peace of loving you. Knowing that you love me, that's the peace of loving you. Of loving you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. It's the peace of loving you. And so we're so glad for 19 of you giving your life to Jesus Christ here today. Had what a wonderful experience for you to be born again. Your names have been written in the Lamb's Book of Life. The angels are rejoicing in heaven because you've accepted Christ as your Savior. And I want to say to you right now, I want to encourage you to get baptized, to find a pastor, find a church, somewhere in the community where you live, if you can. These churches are being closed right now. You may have to delay it till after they reopen. If you need a Bible, though, I'll send you one right away. You can simply send a request to MissZD01@hotmail.com. That's MissZD01@hotmail.com. Also, if somebody needs an anointed prayer cloth, we will anoint those with oil, pray over them, and send those to you by faith. Those are free as well. And there are people that are very, very sick that need a blanket, okay? Very, very ill. Or a chemo cap for those going through chemotherapy. Those are also free. We will anoint those with oil, pray over them, and send those to you for free. We'll pay the postage on all of that. Or also the little book, God Loves You, which I don't know where I placed it at this moment. We will also send that to you for free if you request it. And it's because of our faithful partners of Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries. People go to my website right now and they give their tithe and offerings. Go right now if you would, and if you'd like to give and help in being a blessing to so many people, just simply give to www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Hit the donate button, hit the easy button, like Billy Night Train would say. This is the salvation station. And you can text give. The number right there on the screen, 765-327-4200. That's 765-327-4200. If you would text give, we will send that to you. You can, or just write me. Yeah, thanks, bro. Just write me. You can text give, and then you can write me if you want to put a check or money order in the mail. There's the address, okay? Just put it in the mail. And thank God for that, okay? And you might have a prayer request or something. Or pick up the phone right now and call that number right there, okay? Katz is on the phone. She'll take your call right now, 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. You can give an offering, a donation right over the phone, or you can maybe place an order for some silver or something if you want to do that by phone. You can do that. And the coffee's available. Brock wants to remind you of that. He loves the coffee. Guatemalan coffee, of course, is awesome. So is the Are You Serious brand and the Jamaica McCrazy brand. And then we got a couple new flavors coming in very shortly. Okay, so get ready for those. It's going to be amazing what God is doing. We want to help freshen that up a little bit. So anyway, I'm a little tired. I better go and take a nap, get myself rested and ready for tonight. Tonight, our guest will be Mike from around the world, okay? Mike from around the world. We're going to start the broadcast at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. That's 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Tell people to come. It's going to be a mighty, mighty broadcast tonight. 19 salvations here today. People need to know the truth, the word of the Lord. The Bible tells us. God bless all of you. I love you. I'll see you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching the broadcast. I really appreciate it. And I'll tell you something. If you'd like to know more about some of our books that we've written, go to our website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. I've even got music CDs. I actually have a couple country gospel music CDs that we recorded that I think you'll really enjoy. I have 5 books that I've written. This is my newest one, Jerusalem Jihad. Jerusalem Jihad. This has to do about an end-time apocalyptic scenario that includes the rebuilding of the temple, also the 2 witnesses, and it's a powerful presentation, if you will, on how things are starting to come together here in the last days. So again, check out all of our books, CDs, and everything else we have, and your donations are greatly appreciated at our website. God bless you in Jesus' name. Due to coronavirus concerns, MegaQuake 2020 cannot be held live in Indianapolis, but you won't miss it. Everyone that's bought a ticket will be able to see it on demand May 1st and 2nd. And I'm going to send you a free gift as well. And if you want a ticket, go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. We'll talk about Planet X, earthquakes, volcanoes, Cascadia subduction zone, New Madrid, all of it. Go to my website now. A powerful two-part DVD on Isaiah's apocalypse. It's an in-depth study into the prophetic words of Isaiah as he began to unravel the last days just before the coming of Jesus Christ. It's earth-shattering. The heavens will be shaking. The earth is certainly quaking. But the prophetic message is so on track that soon many will realize we're in the end times. Get it now. Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, a 4 DVD set that looks into the most controversial subjects of the end time prophecies. The 4 Horsemen. Oh yes, we're talking about the white one, the red, the black, the green, all of these phases of the breaking of the seals in these end times. Are you ready for the challenge? Well, get this DVD set only at my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Released from Cincinnati, a 4-part DVD set on the end times. Planet X, Nibiru, The Seas Rising, The Pole Shift, Clyde Lewis, John Moore, Stephen Ben-Danoon, and myself, bringing forth dynamic information relevant to the last day. You can get this 4-part DVD set at my website or individually at my Patreon channel. The heavens are shaking. This is a must-see. Get it now. Prophetic Letters for America. This 2-part DVD will raise the faith within you and this nation. From our founding fathers to our current president, America has been blessed with the power of the Word of God. You will hear some of their prayers, presidential prayers that each president prayed, and their faith of the Bible. You have to get a copy of this DVD and be blessed in the Word. I want to thank all my partners for standing with me, for helping us in the mission of leading people to Jesus Christ, for winning souls into the kingdom. Our live broadcast online, we're seeing 25, 30 souls every day accepting Christ as their Savior. And right here on this television broadcast, so many have come to Jesus Christ. We couldn't do it without you, but we can do all things with Christ. So thank you again for being our partners. God bless all of you.